Supported best local TV news.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 5 a.m.
Now on News 6 Mornings, a travel warning ahead of the 4th of July holiday as millions prepare to get away, what airport officials are urging passengers to do.
And a crime alert in Ocoee after 2 men are attacked walking home, while police are hoping photos right here will lead them to the person responsible.
And changes when it comes to camping out at the University of Central Florida, what students are now being told after on-campus protests. Good morning on your Wednesday. It is 5 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
And I'm Bridget Ellison. Trooper Steve's watching your roads. Meteorologist Candace Campos here with your pinpoint accurate forecast. So we've got a pattern here so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Wednesday.
We're catching back on to that summer pattern, right? You know what? And it's all dependent on where those sea breezes kind of collide, because for the last couple of days, the weather's been exactly the same. It's just where that east and west coast sea breeze meet and kind of duke it out. That's where we will see those scattered showers and thunderstorms. I loved my storms yesterday. Downtown Orlando Skycam. I'm also a weather geek. Your Light Orlando camera delivering hope, showing a muggy and warm start across Central Florida. We have a very light breeze, once again, still out of the south. Temperatures in the mid-70s, but that humidity, it is out there right now. The humidity reporting at 100%. So the yuck forecast is certainly high out there. 79 degrees in Leesburg. By the way, that is not an actual description of the weather. 75 in Apopka, 75 as well in Kissimmee. Now, throughout the next few hours, we'll go from the mid-70s along our coastline to feeling, once again, like the triple digits. We'll be feeling like 103 to 109 potentially throughout the afternoon before the rain and storms come through. But you can see where the collision of those storms were yesterday, right along I-4 and just to its east. Orlando racked up about 1.25 inches of rainfall. Areas like in Sanford, just under about 1/2 inch. But of course, some areas right along the 528 really racking up almost about 3 inches of rain, as some of these storms really didn't move much. Looking at your rain chances for today, once again, still about a 60 to 70% for those areas here highlighted in that orange. We'll be pinpointing the timing, location, all that fun stuff when it comes to your storms. And a look at the tropics. We've got some stuff to talk about coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways. I bet he has stuff to talk about with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Well, the good thing is they wrapped up most of the big construction because of that those rain. You like that? That rain yesterday. Right now, 417 though, over here on Narcoossee, it's not shut down, but southbound through the Lake Nona area, you are going to run into lane closures. You can see law enforcement presence up there on the overpass, so just be careful again as you're headed southbound here. Trying to get my clicker to go and it doesn't want to, but the rest of us doing pretty good. No major issues out on this area, just an active construction zone, so please be careful. You can see traffic moving pretty good through that area, and 408 looking pretty good. Candace, you can move on for me. Thank you. I appreciate you. 408 westbound. I do have a minor crash here at Rio Grande and Rose. Just be careful, guys. Back to you.
All right, Trooper Steve, and a travel warning ahead of the 4th of July. The TSA already predicting Sunday will be the busiest day for travelers ahead of this holiday. And now officials at Orlando International are urging passengers to take some precautions before they get to the airport in order to prevent those delays. News 6's Ezzy Castro is out there live this morning, and they're reminding passengers to leave some things at home, Ezzy.
Bridget, millions of passengers, millions of travelers are expected to travel for the 4th of July holiday, and that's all going to start this weekend. And we are hearing from TSA workers here at the airport who are reminding people to leave some of these big items back home if they're planning on traveling. TSA workers said that they screened nearly 3 million people at airports across the country this past Sunday. So very busy, as you can imagine, but they say that they are expecting an even busier Sunday this upcoming weekend. We're now live at Orlando International Airport. Ezzy Castro, getting results, News 6.
And new this morning, a crime alert in Ocoee after 2 men are ambushed and robbed at gunpoint while they were walking home. It happened around 11 p.m. Saturday night on South Circle Key Drive. Investigators say the men were walking home from El Tequila along nearby Silver Star Road, and police are looking for this man. Police say he was driving a white SUV and jumped out of the driver's seat, walked toward the men, and pistol whipped them before stealing their wallets. If you recognize him or know anything about this robbery, call the Ocoee Police Department.
A crackdown at the University of Central Florida when it comes to protesting on its campus. The school laying out new rules for students sleeping outside overnight. It comes just weeks after pro-Palestinian rallies were held on campus and at other universities across the country. News 6's Mark Lehman joins us live from UCF this morning. And Mark, the rules also limit the time people are allowed to protest.
Yeah, there were already regulations in place, but the new policy limits protest time by 2 hours each day. Now, this comes just a few weeks after we saw rallies all across the campus of UCF, including where we're standing here next to the reflection pond. Now, supporters of the new rules say it's all about safety, but critics are calling it student suppression. UCF's policy on demonstrations was last updated in 2018. There are some exceptions to the rules. Camping is still allowed on campus for events like football games and other athletic events. For now, reporting live at UCF, Mark Lehman, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, turning back to your weather with meteorologist Candace Campos. I feel like it's one of those rinse and repeat type of schedules.
Exactly. So let's just replay my forecast from yesterday. But the interesting thing about Central Florida summer weather is even if the weather is a carbon copy, the moment those sea breezes collide is where we'll see the rain. So for instance, on Monday, again, it was the same setup. We had all the rain right over 75. Yesterday, same setup. The rain was all over I-4. So again, it's all going to fluctuate a little bit by a few miles, but once again, expecting another round of those strong storms into the afternoon. Right now, it's a dry start. We're in the 70s, even a few 80s already at this hour in areas like Leesburg and the Villages. So your summer camp forecast goes like this. I didn't change it much. Temperatures once again are going to be back into the mid-90s. Yesterday we hit a high of 96 because those storms didn't really collide till a little later in the day. We were able to warm up a little further. Looking at your rain chances, they are on the rise. We're up to about a 60% after about 2-3 o'clock. Yesterday it was my favorite thing to look at with the kids. It was our new Pinpoint weather app. You can really dive in, customize it. I know it's a different look. And I know people don't like changes, but I can guarantee you that there's a lot of information here, a lot of great new tools that you can use to really pinpoint where your locations are, breaking down your hour by hour. We have video forecasts as well. Some folks might be getting the update automatically. Some might have to get into their app store and download it. But again, that is the new weather app. Jonathan Kegas on WeatherWise later on today will be breaking down everything and how to customize it exactly to your liking. We'll have more details on that in a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. You've been liking the Pinpoint weather app a little bit.
You know, I've been referring it to more as you, the viewer's app, more than our app. You know
That's
what I mean
true,
by that?
because it's so
It is your
customizable.
app. And it's basically like you're sitting back there in the weather center. You can do all these cool little things.
Yeah.
If you get a second, just check it out.
Yeah,
and learn
it is a
something new.
change. It is a
is.
change.
I made some comments in the beginning, and then I sat there and I was like, okay, this is cool.
We walked you through it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, ma'am. 417 out here at Narcoossee. The construction's getting picked up. There are still some crews out here, so meaning don't touch your phone and just cruise on by. No big crashes out on this end. 2 currently report to you, and you can see no delay either. Airport looking pretty good, too, with traffic, but we've been talking about how it's going to be busy, so just be careful. Got a crash here at Rio Grande and Rose Boulevard just north of Oak Ridge, and then one out here towards Old Winter Garden off of Hope Circle. This is going to be a residential crash. Just be careful, though, as you're headed out there. Kirkman, far left side of your screen, north and southbound. All clear. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. It's 5:11 on your Wednesday. A News 6 investigation prompting a possible change in Washington.
Coming up, how a case of a UCF student's tarnished reputation is putting online safety in the spotlight.
But first, a mother's car stolen right out of her driveway just days after she bought it. Up next, the hunt for the 4 people responsible after troopers say the suspects rammed right into one of their cruisers.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AutoNation. No matter what's happening where you live, trust Sky 6 to get you the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland. Live with Bridget Ellison, Crystal Moyer, weather with meteorologist Candace Campos, and Central Florida's only traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve. This is News 6 Mornings, Getting Results.
A Brevard County woman says her life has been turned upside down. Her brand new car stolen right out of her driveway just days after making the first payment. And what's worse, this is how troopers found it. Heather Jordan spoke to News 6's James Barbero about the entire ordeal. She says her car was stolen last Monday. Then on Friday, troopers let her know they found it, but not before the 4 suspects crashed into a state trooper's cruiser, then took off.
I am genuinely surprised that they walked away from it. Like, the front end of my car, driver's side, is completely demolished. The fact that they not only got out but fled, I don't know how.
The trooper involved was hurt and was taken to the hospital. At last check, the suspects were still on the run. Meanwhile, Jordan's family has set up a GoFundMe account to help her buy another car. We've posted a link on our website if you'd like to help. Just head to clickorlando.com.
And new this morning, a News 6 investigation into a UCF student's tarnished reputation on social media gets results. The case now setting the stage for a proposed federal law aimed at protecting us all. News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld sat down with Congressman Darren Soto to discuss the 2024 SHIELD Act.
A Virginia couple is working to complete what they call their Great American Steak Journey.
Wow. They are traveling thousands of miles in hopes of visiting every single Texas roadhouse in the country. Judy and Mike McNamara began their quest in 2003. So far, they've been to 48 states every single time they visit their favorite Texas roadhouse. On Friday, they arrived at their 228th location in Grand Island, Nebraska. So what do they order when they go?
It is the sirloin. I'll switch between the sirloin, the pork chop, the pulled pork, and the chicken crispers. She's more versatile than I am.
Did he say she's more versatile or fussier? Currently, they are on pace to visit 480 Texas Roadhouse restaurants by the end of the year and 500 this time next year, guys. No pressure, right, for the next stop.
Wow.
Must be nice
Just
to be
wondering,
retired, I'll tell you.
do they have one in Hawaii? And will they be going to Alaska? Oh. That's what I need to know. Are they going to hit up every
We could
single
Google that stuff.
state?
I'm just thinking of the warm.
That's it.
We were talking about that.
See, the Roadhouse, to me, it's not the steak, it's the rolls that you sit there and like.
And then you got to get your dinner to go.
Yeah, I'm too full.
I'm just gonna.
I'm too full. I could do that with a little coffee right now. Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Like a breakfast
Hey,
Texas
Roadhouse. Give us
Put a little
call.
piece of leftover steak on it.
Yeah. Stick an egg on it.
Look
That's
at this.
breakfast.
There you go.
You're welcome.
We're such a mess.
Oh, gosh. Just a fun fact, we're always hungry here.
Yes.
Always.
Always. And we will
We survive
literally
off
eat
of candy
anything
and
at 5
chips.
o'clock this morning. Anything. All right, let's look at your weather story for the next couple of days. You guessed it. It's going to get hot. It's going to be stormy. Same setup as the last couple of days. The exact timing and location of those sea breezes will fluctuate from day to day, but do still expect another active afternoon. And when it comes to the tropics, we are now watching two areas of not concern, but two tropical waves that are out there and a whole lot of dust that's going to kind of help suppress any big time development over the next couple of days. So here's a quick look at the National Hurricane Center's tropical outlook. We have one wave in the Caribbean. We've been watching this for the last couple of days, has a 20% chance of development once it moves over the Yucatan Peninsula. And then we have another one. Now, this one's an interesting one. Our waters are certainly warm enough to develop tropical systems this far east, but we tend not to see systems that far into the eastern Atlantic, but we've got one. And right now, the National Hurricane Center is giving that system a 30%. Our saving grace is some Saharan dust, a whole lot of it. And it's expected to actually start coming into central Florida late in the weekend, early next week. So with that, we can expect more of those bright, vivid sunrises and sunsets. Maybe for those with really very sensitive allergies, we do have some minor air quality concerns in the forecast, but overall, the majority of the Saharan dust, really the main focal point of it, is that it's really going to keep any big time development happening. Now, all that Saharan dust is very typical for this time of the year, which is why June and July tend to be more of our quieter months of the year. I say that very lightly, but now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your weather forecast is sponsored by Fairwinds.
So we're forecasting high about 93, 94, with your rain chances increasing after about 3 o'clock up to about a 60%. And then those storms will linger until about sundown, and then they'll taper off into the evening hours. So let's show you here clouds and rain forecast again, just like yesterday. By 2, 3 o'clock, we'll have those scattered showers bubble up. Once again, our modeling is holding on to in and around the areas of the I-4 corridor, basically west of 95, with that collision pushing a little further west than yesterday. We'll have to wait and see. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells will be pinpointing that and tracking all those storms for you. Now, as we get results here with your full 7-day forecast, rain chances staying elevated, temperatures staying hot. hello summer. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Oh, it was hot yesterday. You could almost cut that weather with a knife out there. But right now, things aren't too bad. Crash Rio Grande and Rose Boulevard. So just be careful. They're reporting that a lane is blocked out here. And then I'm watching this other crash that's kind of close north of Metro West off of Hope Circle. This is all residential here, but Old Winter Garden looking pretty good. Even the 408 on the top of your screen, not too bad east and westbound. If you're coming out from the west side, maybe 429 Winter Garden, Windermere area, nice and clear. No issues. Your ramps are even checking out good. No heavy rain yet this morning, and the fog not visible out there, so we're all right. And 429 north and southbound using 27 kind of parallel through each other here. Whether you're in Osceola County or you're up in Orange or Lake, nice and clear. Ladies, back to you.
All right, Trooper Steve, 522. Security changes involving social media platform Snapchat.
At the bottom of the hour, what the company is doing to make it harder for teens to be contacted by people they don't know.
But first, a consumer alert this morning involving several brands of ice cream. Up next, the products being recalled over fears they can make you sick.
Hey, Central Florida, it's that time of year again.
Time to celebrate the 4th of July at Lake Eola Park with fireworks at the fountain, celebrating a city of heroes.
Where we honor those going above and beyond to serve our community.
Join News 6 in the city of Orlando for food, fun, and an amazing fireworks show.
Watch live at Lake Eola Park or News 6 starting at 8.
Or stream it wherever you are on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. Fireworks at the fountain, only on News 6. Still to come, UCF making changes when it comes to camping out at the school.
And at the bottom of the hour, that crackdown following protests at campuses across the country.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
A Central Florida mother accused of driving over her own child. The video, deputies say, proves it was done on purpose, and the charges she's facing now.
Plus, a busy 4th of July in the skies, but it has nothing to do with those fireworks. A new warning from the FAA when it comes to big crowds at the nation's airports.
And the most advanced weather satellite ever built, now in orbit. We'll have another look at the liftoff from the Cape and what comes next once it's up and running. Good morning, Central Florida. It's 5:30. I'm Bridget Ellison.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. Thanks for staying with us on this hump day. We want to start with a check of your pinpoint forecast with meteorologist Candace Campos. And today we've got more heat and more storms on the way.
What kind of new weather satellite? Yes. So excited. And you know what? That sea breeze pushed just far inland. You saw there was no clouds along the beaches. That is an exact picture of that sea breeze pushing in. The weather did great. So that's why, even with these forecasts, a 30% go, they got it up, which was great. Awesome. Let's talk about those temperatures out the door. Sea breezes will once again be the name of the game. Right now, we're in the mid to upper 70s, already hitting those low 80s at this hour. Our high today is 94. Yesterday, we hit a high of 96, but it's going to be feeling even hotter, feeling like 106 this afternoon. And we're going to keep those heat indices in those triple digits for the next few days. So if you're planning on enjoying the beaches, we do have that moderate risk of rip current, the surf about 1 to 2 feet, but then rain chances are on the rise today, back up to about 60%. We'll be pinpointing all that coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He was actually driving on the beach yesterday with Molly Reed.
Yeah, it was a pretty good time. I've not been able to take the truck out there. Beautiful weather. Learned something that I think I'm going to turn maybe to an Ask Trooper Steve or Trooper Steve on patrol. I don't want to just drop the info here, right? Rio Grande and Rose. So this is the only crash I'm currently watching. It has a lane blocked. Just be careful as you're cruising out there. And then a little further south here, 192 Poinciana Boulevard. All clear this morning. No problems yet. And then, of course, I love saying this, it's summertime. So Poinciana, you don't normally see the super delays northbound, a little further east along 192 towards Boggy Creek. All clear. Guys, back to you.
All right, Trooper Steve, this morning the FAA is warning if you have a trip booked for the upcoming 4th of July holiday, get ready for some company.
Yeah, the agency says this upcoming weekend ahead of the holiday will be the busiest of the summer. And here in Central Florida, the TSA says there are things you can do to try and make sure your trip is a smooth one.
We do want it to be smooth. News 6's Ezzy Castro live at Orlando International Airport now, and it's really about remembering what not to bring, right, Ezzy?
That's right, Bridget. And look, TSA says that one of the biggest things that they find an issue with are liquids. They say 3 out of 10 people actually carry liquids when they're trying to go through the TSA checkpoint here. And another big no-no are weapons. They want to remind folks to leave those weapons at home. And look, we just went inside the airport a few minutes ago, and we did notice how busy it was at the southwest front desk. You had the long lines on that side. But something that TSA workers do suggest is that you use the Clear program, which is right over there. That kind of will put you up to speed, and you won't have to wait as long as the normal checkpoint, which is right behind me. For now, live at OIA, Ezzy Castro, getting results, News 6.
It's all about preparation. Thanks, Ezzy. New this morning, a disturbing arrest in Polk County after deputies say a woman ran over her boyfriend on purpose while he was holding the couple's 16-month-old son, and it was all caught on video. Deputies say the couple was arguing on Monday when 27-year-old Aaliyah Ross put 2 other small children in her car and got behind the wheel and hit the man and the baby while they were walking away. Deputies say Ross then grabbed the infant and left, but later returned to the house and left the baby alone, even though he had multiple broken bones. The baby was eventually taken to the hospital and is now in critical condition. The man was treated and released. Ross was later arrested on a long list of charges.
Orlando police are hoping a new $5,000 reward will help them get results and find whoever hit and killed a man riding his bicycle. Police have released these videos of a white car they're searching for. They say the driver hit 35-year-old Charles Murphy on June 15th while he was riding on South Cimarron Boulevard near Pershing Avenue. Whoever was driving kept going. Police say the car should have damage to its front bumper and windshield. If you have information, call Orlando Police or the crime line at 1-800-423-TIPS.
UCF is changing the rules when it comes to camping out on campus. Just weeks after we saw scenes like this with pro-Palestinian protesters, the school is now just limiting how long groups like this can stay there. News 6's Mark Lehman is following this story live at UCF. And Mark, supporters say it's all about the safety of the students.
Yeah, it's why UCF says there was already a camping ban in place. This new policy puts stricter rules on the types of demonstrations we saw out here last April and May. Critics of these new rules, however, say the university is trying to suppress students' voices. Now, other schools have approved similar changes to their policies. Last week, FSU banned tents and the blocking of entrances to buildings. And when it comes to UCF's ban on camping, there are some exceptions for things like football games and other athletic events. For now, reporting live at UCF, Mark Lehman, getting results, News 6.
Mark, thank you. For the second time in a week, a local animal shelter has been forced to shut down adoptions because of a contagious illness. The latest in Marion County, where cat intakes and adoptions are on hold right now. The county says it's because of a spike in the Pan-Luc virus, similar to parvo in dogs, that can cause sudden death. The outbreak comes less than a week after Orange County paused dog adoptions after one of its animals tested positive for a contagious bacteria. Those adoptions resumed on Monday in Orange County.
Well, the most advanced weather satellite ever built is now in orbit after a liftoff from our coast.
Ignition, engine core power, and liftoff. Go steady test, go Falcon Heavy, go NOAA, go NASA, and go you.
You saw it live right here on News 6 just before 5:30 last night. Once it's up and running, the GOES-U satellite will be able to send back high-resolution imagery in near real time and will be critical in tracking hurricanes. No better time right now, Candace, than the beginning of hurricane season. I know you were geeking out about this from the very beginning.
Love it.
Really cool to see those really high-resolution images that, will be coming in soon.
It's just amazing, the ability for us to see things in the Atlantic and the tropics that we've never been able to see before, and be able to also pinpoint something as much as a lightning strike right over Apopka, for instance, which is just so crazy when you think about the technology nowadays. But yes, it is up there. It's going to take a little bit of time to finally get kind of situated in its spot there, orbiting the Earth, but we're looking really excited for it. Right now, we're at 74 degrees right now. We're seeing those nice clear skies. Humidity at the Cape, by the way, is about 94%. Looking at our rain totals in the last 24 hours, some areas got a good dose of rain, upwards about 1.25 inches of rain so far in Orlando yesterday. Stanford just under about 1/2 inch. Of course, that's just our reporting stations. We certainly saw upwards about 3 inches in some isolated amounts. I know this graphic's a little weird. It's basically a drought index. Basically, the blue is good. The closer we get to orange and red, the drier we are. So you can see a big portion of Central Florida is certainly saturated out there, which is certainly going to help our drought monitor. Our next one will be updated tomorrow. We, of course, fingers crossed, things start to improve. Now let's check on those roadways with another round of rain today. People just have to remember to take it slow as well.
Yeah, take it slow and seed your grass, because my grass is real happy right now.
Oh, yeah.
So 192 still looking good in Kissimmee, Boggy Creek, even Fortune Road, no problem. Within this area, if you're making your way up towards the airport, Buenaventura and Osceola Parkway look great. Yesterday, I spent my day out on the beach with our Volusia County Bureau reporter, Molly Reed, taking results one out on Volusia County beaches. It was a great time, really getting to know Molly a little bit. Head over to clickorlando.com and you can check that stream out. And today, I'm going to be driving up to Seminole County, building number 1 at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. They're having a huge recruitment event. They have jobs all within their department starting at 10 o'clock this morning till 2. I'm not staying there till 2 though, so just join me at 10 a.m. or just go out and apply for a job. Clickorlando.com. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. A popular social media app rolling out new features to protect teens.
Still ahead, what users can expect to see the next time they get a message on Snapchat.
But first, gun violence in the U.S. now being called a public health crisis. The new announcement from the Surgeon General and how the NRA is responding this morning.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks. Central Florida weather changes constantly. Don't have time to turn on the TV? Grab the Pinpoint Weather app from the App Store. The app is like having a News 6 meteorologist in your pocket. Open it up, boom, there's the radar. Boom, there's the forecast. It has the Futurecast right on it, the same modeling used in the News 6 studio. And if there's a warning, it comes automatically to your phone. Download the free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app now and have our weather team with you whenever you need us. Live with Bridget Ellison, Crystal Moyer, weather with meteorologist Candace Campos, and Central Florida's only traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve. This is News 6 Mornings, getting results.
A major announcement from the U.S. Surgeon General as he formally declares gun violence in America as a public health crisis. In a 40-page document, Dr. Vivek Murthy calls for banning assault weapons for civilian use, universal background checks, and even for doctors to talk about safe gun storage during office visits. He says gun violence is now the leading cause of death for children and teens. Well, imagine you're just eating dinner by the water when you spot this partially submerged SUV floating by. It happened to one group of people at a restaurant just outside Cape Coral. They called 911. Turns out deputies say the SUV's brakes gave out. No one was inside.
Okay.
It went right into the water. Fish and Wildlife was called in to remove it. But you know,
where was this parked? For the brakes to give out and
right.
to get
It's like, did you forget your boat
into the water?
Maybe he was dropping off the boat and left the car on the boat ramp. Maybe it was inclined. And you know, we have boats and water, cars in water here in Central Florida.
But it's Florida.
It's Disney Springs.
It's Disney Springs.
Come on.
Bingo.
Yes!
I knew exactly what you were doing. I was like, oh.
Every time someone visits and they're not from around here and they see those cool little cars
They take off so quick.
into the water at Disney Springs, I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, I so always like watch them. And it's so funny. They just sit there in the car like, It's so funny. All right, downtown Orlando sky cam right now, brought to you by Light Orlando, delivering hope. There's starting to be a little bit of that sunrise slowly peeking over the horizon. It's going to be another hot day. Temperatures for right now are in the mid-70s. The coolest part of the day is right here, so get those outdoor plans done earlier rather than later. One, you don't have to deal with the crazy heat, and two, you're not going to be having to dodge as much rain again. Looking at your Wednesday forecast, so it's going to be muggy and warm on this 26th of June. We're already almost done with June. Is that weird? That's weird, right? Heat index, once again, will be soaring back into the triple digits between about 100 and 106 degrees. And then just like yesterday and the day before, another stormy afternoon is expected after about 2 o'clock. Here's a kind of the big picture right now. We are still watching two relatively juicy tropical waves. They are packing a little bit of a punch right now. Both have a low chance of developing in the next couple of days. We have one in the Caribbean, another one, an unusual one far across the eastern tropical Atlantic. We don't really tend to see a lot of those tropical waves develop this time of the year that far east. But when you're still talking about those record ocean temperatures, it's not a surprise. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
So for the moral of the story here, make sure you're packing your water, your sunscreen, your sunglasses, but also your rain gear and your galoshes, as rain chances will stay upwards about 60% throughout today. Most of the action should taper off as the sun goes down, maybe a straight downpour by about 9 o'clock tonight. And we're going to continue to keep those chances of rain elevated with highs staying just above average. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Thank you, Candace. We've cleared out all of our crashes that we've talked about this morning, so everything looking pretty good. If you're hopping on I-4 this morning, just take it nice and easy. I-4 east of kind of the Princeton area, nice and clear out here. You can see your on-ramp from State Road 50, nice and smooth there. Take it easy when you get up on that ramp, and always be careful at that bottom portion there. East of 46, still looking good out here. We'll start to see those westbound delays here in the next few, but the construction has been picked up. Overnight, it was eastbound, so I always issue a traffic alert of some type out here. Just be careful, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. A new alert about ice cream that could be in your freezer.
Ahead at 6, the brand's just recalled over potential contamination.
But first, gearing up for a busy week ahead at the nation's airports. What the government is saying about 4th of July travel next as we check our big stories.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
5:55, if you're headed out, let's check our big stories. The FAA is expecting this Sunday to be the busiest day of the entire summer at the nation's airports. It's all as millions take trips for the 4th of July holiday next week.
A woman is facing charges accused of running over her boyfriend, all while he was holding the couple's 16-month-old son. Aaliyah Ross was arrested in Orange County after deputies say the father and son were hurt Monday at a home in Polk County.
UCF is cutting the hours people can protest on campus. The changes come after weeks of demonstrations at colleges across the country over the war between Israel and Hamas. Breaking overnight, the founder of WikiLeaks, now officially a free man.
Still ahead, the plea deal just accepted in the case surrounding Julian Assange and where he's headed next.
And a Florida NFL team set to get a new home. The stadium deal just approved and the billion-dollar price tag that goes along with it.
When every minute matters, News 6 is getting you all the facts and every detail that matters to you. For breaking news turned to News 6.